Salud.
Salud.
I'm here with Ignacio Coll from Ancienne. Of course, a well-known character within the vintage watch community.
Thank you.
And when I started, I already remember you were very early on Instagram too.
Yeah.
How long are you on Instagram for?
8-9 years.
Exactly.
Maybe, yeah, more or less.
Because
but you were there before, right?
I was there before, but I feel like you were one of the first waves of dealers that also profile themselves on Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's my great honor to have you here. Of course, we share the same passion.
We do.
Laying in front of us, but let's start with what's on your wrist.
Well, I'm wearing this watch, which is quite interesting for me because, well, we have, you know, the watch 3700/11, which I think we both like a little bit better, no? And this one is double signed by Gobelin, but the nice thing is that the owner kept the original box, the original papers, and on top Gobelin has issued an extract confirming the dial.
That's nice with Gobelin and with also Bayer. You can also request the extracts at the authorized retailers.
But you know, nowadays, you know, this gives a lot more value to these dials.
True. Yeah.
So this gives the collector a proof that the watch was born like this.
And for the audience, the difference between the -1 and -11, the -1 was first, but it has a slightly less tapered bracelet, different construction. And this is just sleeker. It sits around the wrist better.
It's much better. It's like if you're wearing a strap with a bigger buckle or smaller buckle.
And the condition.
You have the smaller buckle here.
The condition.
Yeah.
I just sold to a good client of ours. You just met him.
Yeah,
I sold the 3700-11, and I told him I feel a little bit sad for this watch to leave because, you know, watches, they come and go, but it's hard to find them in the proper condition. And I told him probably it's going to take a while before I find one again in this great condition.
Here you go.
And Ignacio walks up with this watch and with the extra sauce with a Gobelin, beautiful watch.
And you know what? Normally people believe /1 is more rare or whatever.
Well, /11 is rare,
and
right?
/11, even if it's later,
it's
more rare.
Period.
Exactly.
Less pieces.
Less production. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Jasper live from Amsterdam Vintage Watches.
Amazing. Love this watch.
I feel like Patek Philippe is one of your cornerstones.
Yeah.
Not only tool watches, but also specifically a lot of dress watches. I see some nice watches.
Yeah. We like with my partner a lot the only time Calatravas from the 40s, 50s, shaped lags also.
Oh, the 1491 that you guys had.
That was amazing. That's a crazy watch because finding this watch pink with a pink dial and in this condition, I mean the watch has never been worn.
But the dial also, it's so uncommon.
The configuration of the dial, and
you
saw the indexes, how one index is still gold color, the other two have a dark patina. It's super nice.
But you didn't bring the watch. I wanted to see it.
Sorry, I couldn't bring everything.
Is it sold or you still have it?
That's the problem. The watch just went sold during this weekend and during the auctions.
Luckily, you did bring some nice watches. Before we go to them, let's start with the auctions. What was your take on the results?
I mean, I think we are following the trend that condition is paying really high, and medium quality is tough to sell.
Regarding condition, I saw 6263 Big Red selling for 300k all in, top one. I saw the Frachero signed only pink or 3448. It reached 3.2 million or something like that?
Yeah,
all
it was 2.4 or 2.5 plus hammer. So the 6263 you mentioned, I was able to. I also saw the Frachero, but the 6263, the black one, that was really new old stock.
And then it goes for 300k all in. Yeah. Imagine, because you can find them at 80 to 100k for a proper one.
Yeah.
But 300k is the condition speaks. And I found that to be very interesting, and also in the terms of Patek Philippe, specifically dress watches, they need to be appealing, they need to look proper. And
I mean, it's difficult to find them because of course these were important watches in the period, but they are already 70, 80 year old. It's difficult to find them in nice condition. And you know, for example, on this reference, 1578, when the watch is polished, the lugs, they lose all the charm, all the proportions, you know?
The chamfered edges on the lugs is very important to the feel of the
very
watch.
Important. The 1491, you saw the bezel, and there was this little edge. It was crazy, and here you have the same thing too.
I feel like with these watches, especially with the fancy lugs, the dial is as important as the case.
For
Whilst
me, yes.
in many other watches, like let's say Submariner or a Day-Date, it's usually the dial.
That's
most important.
But here the case takes a lot of importance. Yeah.
For sure. And
so
it's
every
quite
time we
oversized.
see these watches in nice condition, we buy.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is pink gold example.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite rare, and you can also see on the case back still
Yeah.
the hallmarks being so well preserved.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with watches in a proper condition. You really fall in love with it. And in the end, we're talking about watches that, you know, last hundreds of years. So it's better to spend a little bit of extra to enjoy it truly instead
For
of,
me,
you know,
it's even on the collector side of passion and on the investment side, because many people, you know, ask, is this a good investment? I always tell them, buy the watch if you like it. But of course, investment is also important. Even if you pay a little bit more in the long run, even in the midterm, the condition pays.
if you always have if you have a good watch, there will always be somebody who's interested to purchase the watch.
Always.
Regardless of the market, if these days it's popular now to have the 3700 or it's popular to have a 3970, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you have the top quality watch, there's always people.
But if you reach a period where these watches are less hot or less popular, even though the good ones sell, because there's always a collector looking for one and he can choose in the market, obviously he will choose the nice one.
Yeah,
you know,
and
so
for popularity, 3970 really took a jump, huh?
it's crazy. It's crazy.
the
We have been handling several ones lately, and it's well. How many times have we been discussing that this watch was underrated, that couldn't be?
I also feel like a little bit sad that now everybody found out about it, because now it's becoming increasingly harder to find them at the proper price. I just showed you saw my two, right? But I have another one purchased just now, 3970p with a black dial, so stay tuned for that watch. It's coming soon with a diamond markers. It's kind of cool.
Nice, yeah.
I like it. But popularity 3970 performed well. Also the one with the Arabic numerals, I think over 1 million.
Yeah, I think it was 800 plus hammer, no?
Yeah,
Or
I
something
think all in like 1 million.
Yeah, but that's very rare.
And the popularity of Cartier, do you think that's continuing? Did you saw in the auction Cartier is still as booming as it was the couple of last auction weekends?
I don't know if you saw that crash. I was very surprised.
The
The
NSO,
gray,
you mean?
the gray one.
Yeah,
the
but
NSO.
that price is
That
just
was-
unjust.
It's crazy.
stupid.
But I think they are like getting importance again, and of course there was a hype, and now I think it's more or less stable. I think.
But regarding hypes, we were just discussing the bamboo. You know, we both know we were selling these watches at 20, 30,000 euros. Of course, it's not the new old stock condition like this. But a watch like this, the XL bamboo, how much does it run for now, the Jumbo?
I think this watch in new old stock with papers, it's a different discussion maybe that for a regular example, normally they don't have papers because it's something we both agree about the papers and the boxes. Okay, we like the condition, but well, it's a plus. And this, let's say only it's in new old stock condition. You know, it has never been worn. It's difficult to find. Normal examples, let's say they go for 80 in the market, more or less. There was one in Loop This. I don't know if you remember. It went for less. I think that could have been a good buy. For us being in Europe, it's always more difficult.
Yeah.
But I think market value could be 80 for a regular model.
And Gondola?
Gondola, I was bidding on one yesterday at Sotheby's. There was one in nice condition.
Yeah.
The estimation was very low, so we were bidding, but finally it went for, I think, all in like 17.5 euro, more or less, exchange. I think the value for them is between 18 and 20.
Yeah, especially I like the horizontale because it's hit better on the wrist.
Yeah.
This requires a really big wrist to wear it.
Aesthetically, I like this one better, but I agree the horizontal is maybe more comfortable and a little bit more rare.
Yeah,
The horizontale.
I think it's also translated into the price, though. The horizontales are a little bit more
I
expensive.
think this is, they both come from the same collector, so both are never worn with all the boxes and the papers, whatever. So I think regular watch 18 to 20, and this has a small premium.
How many watches do you find locally, like in Barcelona or in Spain?
I used to find a lot of watches locally in the last years, and we focused a lot our business in finding watches from privates, which is also very exciting.
It is.
But lately it's more and more difficult because there's less and less watches.
And internet makes it way more global. You get the same watch
Totally.
offered.
Sometimes I have a call, someone, hey, I'm coming to Spain, and I say, okay, he's buying a watch from Spain, but it's nice. So we lately buy a lot from privates, but we are focusing also to buy a lot in the market, in the auctions, because if not, you cannot source yourself.
Yeah.
It's funny that these four watches, these four watches come from Spain.
Okay.
This I bought in a show from a dealer because I saw it. It's like I cannot just leave it.
Well, the good thing is with buying for dealers and having a nice network, you can find the proper watches from the entire globe.
Yes.
But the problem is with buying from individuals, you don't know what you're going to get offered, and 9 out of 10 times it's not so interesting, or the price is too high, or
they say they will sell for a price, and then they no, I thought
and then they offer to somebody else.
Exactly,
and it's
so
a drama.
This Vacheron, for example, you'll see it's a pink gold chronograph.
The dial is also amazing.
Super nice. It was I had to fly 3 times to the north of Spain to buy this watch because the lady was so difficult, So it's.
But in the end, you
difficult.
closed it, so it's worth it.
Yeah, but at the end, I told her, okay, let's do whatever you want. Just show the watch around, and you know what happened at the end? She took my offer, so my first offer. So probably, the offer was higher than the rest.
Yeah.
But it's
also
difficult,
that everybody
sometimes
already saw the watch and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because that's why I love to work with watches, to uncover them, to show them for the first time to the audience.
This was not offered around a lot. People didn't know it, but they talked to the house. They talked to a certain auction that talked about an estimate which was super high. Also, you never know if they are telling you the truth.
Yeah,
that's another thing.
That's true.
It's a poker game, but
and they don't take in regards. So, for example, people have to understand with auctions. Let's say we make up a price of €100,000 for this watch. Sure, if it hammers at €100,000, you brought it in, you're getting €90,000. Exactly. I'm paying $130K. But a private individual who owns this watch sees, somebody paid $130K for it, so I want $120K. But in the end,
you will never get
$90K,
exactly.
So you cannot get $120K.
Exactly.
So that is an important.
Also, the risk, the estimations on the auctions. Obviously, they need to cover themselves. So, but you got that risk that the watch is going to sell at the low estimate, or.
At Sotheby's there was the AP Cobra in white gold with the day and date.
Yeah.
I offered the gentleman. He offered me the watch on Instagram, and I offered him €70,000. And he was like, no, I think I'll put it at auction because they put the estimate between 60 and 120.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but in the end, if it sells at 60K, you're going to be stuck with like 50K.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'll take my risk. And it didn't sell. So after the auction, he messaged me like, I'll kindly take up your offer.
What was your answer?
I don't wish to have the watch now because it's unsold. It's burned. So it's not a smart move always to do it like that. I understand there's excitement, and a watch can really fly on auction.
You know what?
It's a gamble.
The human being, me included, is greedy, and you always want more. And you sell a watch, and when you sell a watch, you always think, maybe I could have sold higher or not. You need to be humble, It's a good offer, take it, for a couple of €1,000, and now he's stuck with the watch. He will get 12 or whatever.
Well, I told him I can still buy the watch, but now we'll pay less because on auction you kind of burn the watch.
Did you see the story on the 2497? That's interesting. The pink gold.
I did. Yeah, I did. You want to share with the audience?
But
you I refrain.
But you saw what happened. Now the watch is unsold, so
it's shitty.
What's going on with this watch now?
Yeah, the watch is now kind of burnt. Yeah. That's an issue. But the auction can also result into crazy prices. If we're taking a look at the gondola,
of course.
We saw the Monaco Legend Group result for the white gold gondola with the bracelet.
Crazy.
There's not a single person in the world, a dealer, that would pay even 1/4 of that price.
That's the magic of the auctions.
Yeah.
Two people or two persons or three, whatever, they fight for a watch. And also, how many times have you been bidding at auction?
Yeah.
Even if it's your 1,000th time, you're excited and okay, let's go for one more bid.
Yep.
That's
Always
the magic
happens.
of the auction. So I can understand.
But I feel like if you put 10 watches, like if I generalize, 10 watches, then 4 sell for mediocre price.
Yes.
4 sell for average price. 1 sells super high and 1 sells super low.
At the end, you're always
Exactly.
I,
But
I,
if
I
you
always
only
say
put
that.
one watch, it's a big risk. It's like going to casino.
And you know, for me, what's the problem? You put the watch. It takes 2 or 3 months until the watch hammers. During these 2 or 3 months, your expectations keep growing and growing and growing. And the day of the auction,
Yeah.
normally you won't be satisfied. You know, you will never have enough because of the greediness.
It's true. It's true.
So
Be smart, people. Sell to me or Ignacio. Preaching to the
No,
choir.
it's true also that sometimes many watches they perform really well. Auctions, they have a huge portfolio, and so you need to balance that.
And if you properly time it, like the moment everybody all of a sudden wants a specific watch, and then your watch goes in the auction, then it can go really high. But if the timing is off, it can also work
It
the
can
other
be
way
the
around.
opposite,
With
yeah.
the Royal Oak, you see so many Royal Oaks unsold these days on auctions. Whilst 3 years ago, if you put the Royal Oak on auction, you're gonna fetch an amazing price. So that's also a difficulty.
Timings are very important. I mean,
Well,
for
time
these
in the
Royal Oaks,
market beats timing in the market.
I got a few in my collection, and we got crazy offers. No, I will keep it. Now the watches are worth, I don't know, 30% less, 40% less.
Well,
It's
there
the
you
game,
go.
you know. You need to accept. You need to accept.
Anyways, thank you so much for passing by. It's a great pleasure. Always.
What are you wearing, by the way? No.
You know,
We would also like to know, and I think the audience would like to know too.
So in this specific case, it's an 1806. What I like about this specific reference, it's the only dated that has the finish on both the bracelet, in this case a brick bracelet, the lugs, as well as the bezel. The only reference to have the finish on all of them, all components.
Very nice.
And hence you can also really see the condition, because of course if you polish it once, it's gone.
This finishing you cannot polish. You destroy the watch.
I agree. And what's nice to see, cigarette hands, doorstop markers.
I love these dials.
Really ton sur ton, beautiful dial.
Can I have a look?
It's a nice watch. It's goes to show you can find a really almost unique watch, because how many are there in this configuration?
Well,
maybe a handful.
you're very good on this.
And in the end, you're paying like 26,000 euros, so it's not the world, and you have a unique data.
This is 26,000 euro.
Yes.
Really? Okay.
So for me, this goes to show you, even with I'm inclined to say smaller wallet, but 26,000 euros is a lot of money.
Well, sometimes we lose reality.
Yeah,
you know?
of course. We're talking about 100K watches and stuff,
yeah,
1 million watches. But I mean, you get a real bargain.
It's very nice.
And you know, I love bracelets.
Long bracelet also.
Long bracelet. And I love bracelets. Just quirky bracelets are cool. Even with the Vacheron, I enjoy it.
It's getting stronger and stronger for the bracelets.
Yeah. And of course, it's our forte, a little bit, the weird dates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When we shut off the camera, I'll show you a unique stone dial. I promise you to show it.
Yeah. And I promise to just keep it between us.
To keep your mouth shut. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Of course, make sure you follow Ancienne. These guys are providers of amazing watches and nice content. Really, I enjoy following it.
That you appreciate it, thanks.
And in Barcelona, the drinks are on you, but this time the Heineken will be on
you are quite fast drinking.
Well, we're Dutch, you know. If it's free, we drink quickly. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Thanks for
checking
welcoming
out the
us.
video.